This is Season 2, Episode 15 of the Pint of No Return show, Habanero.
I'd rather have lager than rye. I'll take a strong stout over stride. I prefer to confer with a half pint of ale and live a long life till my private parts fail. For life without liquor is to no avail. So bring me lager for life. I'd rather have lager than rye.
Take a note, take a break a leg it out of order, made to order, made in the shade your eyes on the prize winning fighter, pilot, pen, name that tune your radio dial for dollars and cents, sense of direction, ask for directions, ask and ye shall receive. Shall we play a game? Game on, Game of Thrones. Sit on the throne, sit on it, Potsy, sit a spell, speak and spell, speak easy does it, easy money, found money, lost money, funny money, show me the money, pocket money, beer money, beer goggles, beer glasses, beer bottles, tear in my beer, near beer, root beer, birch beer, light beer, dark beer, hobby beer, fruity beer, heady beer, red beer, dead beer, any beer at all. Pint of beer, half pint down to the pub for a pint. Grab a pint, take a pint taken, pint set and match. It's the Pint of No Return show.
Wow, very good. Hello.
And good night, everyone. That's as best as it's going to get.
Just a little something for you.
Wow. Where did you come up with that?
I don't know, I wrote it about 5 minutes ago.
Did that while your building was burning?
I did that, I was waiting for Keith. Yeah, my building was burning this week. How about it?
That's exciting.
I was on the news, not me personally.
Aren't you the fire marshal for your floor or your building?
I
or
am
something?
actually the site coordinator for the entire building, or for our company in that building. So I basically coordinate rescue efforts and evacuations and all that kind of stuff. I'm in charge of the fire wardens.
So you
So I
started
was a little
the fire.
busy. No. As it turns out, boy, it's amazing how rumors can fly very quickly. What happened was someone drove an old model Buick into our building. We have a parking garage. The first 12 floors is a parking garage. And they drove an old model Buick there, and I guess sometime during the day it shorted or the catalytic converter did something or foobarred, and it caught on fire and caught the two cars next to it on fire. So there were flames actually gutting out of the building and smoke everywhere. So we had to evacuate and get out across the street, and some of the stairwells, the emergency stairwells that we evacuated were filled with smoke, and it was a little dicey there for a while. And the next day, after we were back in our building and trying to get back to work, the rumors were running rife that it was somebody's mistress that had set her married boyfriend's car on fire, and
That's a good one.
that there were more fires to come, or there was a rampant arsonist in the city, and this was just the beginning of a crime spree of flames.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it just turned out it was
You guys are bored down there in Houston, huh?
apparent. Well, no, because on top of all that, we've gotten about 15 inches of rain in the last couple of days. So there's flooding everywhere. It's
It goes well with the fires.
It's all fun in Houston this week. So, excuse me. But that was my week. How are you guys doing?
Just great. Never better.
Good. I'm on my summer schedule now because opera's over.
Cool.
Sweet.
It's all over, and it's nice to be done. Nice to be done. All right, so we are, as you can tell, only 3 of the 4 amigos. Gary could not make it. He decided to reenact Cats in the Cradle and do something with his kids. Go to one of their events or something. One of them's having a tea party. I don't know what's happening.
Something unknown and without beer.
Yeah.
So we mourn for him tonight.
He's supposedly going to try to dial in or to at least listen in. I don't know what he's doing. But I don't know how he's doing that and attending this family event. I'm assuming that's going to get him in big time trouble.
Probably.
Yeah. So, Gary, it's okay. Just go ahead and do your own thing. But in the meantime, we will continue on. We at the Pint of No Return, happy to be your beer service provider, your BSP, as it were. And we would like you to know, first of all, that we thank the Poxy Boggers and Stu Venable for the use of their music as our theme song. Find them at iTunes or at poxyboggers.com, POXYBOGGARDS.com. We welcome our Alpha Geek Radio listeners back after a short hiatus while Keith tuned up his butt.
Yep.
He's got the butt working now, and we are on Channel 3. And you can find that at tunein.alphageekradio.com or any of our various outlets, pnrshow.com, on the iTunes, on the YouTubes, any
Stitcher.
place,
Don't forget about the Stitchers.
any place where you can get aggregated podcasts, you probably can find us. Email us, though, at pnrshow@gmail.com. We love to hear your feedback, anything you'd like us to drink, anything you'd like us to talk about. If you want to come in and guest on the show, heck, how easy is it to be a guest on our show? About as easy as clicking, saying, "Hey, I want to be a guest on your show."
Sure.
You
That's how
don't
Jeremy
even,
got
you don't even have to do the stuff that we're supposed to do.
Yeah, that's how Jeremy
That
got
we
on the
don't
show.
do.
Apparently, he just, our interview process was apparently very, very lax.
Our interview process was in like the second season. You had a bout of opera that took you off the show for like
Yeah,
5 weeks straight.
He didn't want
And
to
I
talk
said,
to himself.
"Help! I can't talk to myself." And Jeremy was one of the volunteers that jumped on board, and we love
And
him
he's
for
never
it.
left. And you know,
He's never left.
his
He brought
salary
his
has
friend Gary with him, and
his salary has only increased over the years, and we're glad to have him. So
as long as he keeps sending beers, we keep having him on.
we are on Google Plus. We have a chat room on Google Plus that we sit and hang out with while we're all at work, shooting the bull, talking about stuff, including beer, including movies, anything that catches our fancy. Mostly just shooting the bull. So if you want in on that, just let us know, and we'll be happy to invite you. Twitters, we're still on there. Gary's at Always Breaking. Jeremy is at Jeremy Brooks. Keith is at Wolfman K. And I am at RebRob, REBROB. Keith, do we have any feedback tonight?
Well, I guess technically yes.
Okay.
I've been exchanging emails with your buddy, but mostly on just getting headphone recommendations. So it's all been personal.
My buddy Aaron?
Yeah, Aaron.
My gaming buddy.
Yeah, Aaron writes in, and I write him back, and then he tells me how awesome my signature is on the email I write back with. So.
I very nearly killed his character on Tuesday night.
Oh,
This close.
you need
Very
to try
close.
harder.
It was pretty dicey there for a minute. He made an interesting decision that nearly got him killed. But
Nice.
anyway,
Those are the
so-
best games.
without any further ado or hubbub or chit chat, let's get on to our beer, shall we? We've got an interesting one tonight.
Now I'm swimming in the ocean, causing a commotion, 'cause they are so awesome.
There you go.
Yeah.
You forgot we had bumper music, didn't you?
I did. From San Diego, California, we've got the Ballast Point Brewing Company and their Habanero Sculpin IPA. It's an India Pale Ale with habanero peppers added. This could go one of two ways. Alcohol 7.0% by volume. Jeremy, do you know anything about the folks at Ballast Point?
Not much. I don't drink their beers too often. This apparently is their Sculpin IPA, which is one of their normal ones. They've got a couple variants of it. They have a grapefruit and habanero. I have seen the grapefruit one around. I've seen a few people talking about this on Google Plus today, actually, and they recommended mixing it half and half with grapefruit, which would be interesting.
Oh, talk about killing.
That would kill you. Yeah.
Yeah.
This just breaking it open. The first
Holy
impression
crap.
I get is grapefruit, though.
It's
Yeah.
all grapefruit.
I'm
It's a
feeling
huge grapefruit note. There's just a hint of some smoky pepper kind of behind the grapefruit in the nose. But just a hint of it.
If you say so.
These kind of beers are so difficult to do with spice.
They are.
They usually just are not my thing.
I
No.
generally, one of the things I like about beer in general is a beer that you can really take a nice draw on. And I find some of these peppered ones to be really interesting and good, and possibly if they're paired right, you could do that. But if they're more of a sipping beer, which is not really my thing,
Not
if
your
I'm going to
favorite.
do that, I'm going to do like a double stout or something like that and sip on that. But yeah, I'm curious to try it.
We're all about trying the weirdo beers, so
It's already been labeled.
7.0% alcohol by volume if you're keeping score at home. And it pours with a really foamy head, kind of a goldeny color. Like Jeremy was saying, that grapefruit hops is just smacking you in the face and demanding that you call it mama.
It's right up front, isn't it?
It is.
Woo!
It is. It smells like a double. It
Yeah.
really does. But
All right.
in spilling my cider earlier, I somehow lost my glass, so I'm going to go bareback tonight.
Woo! Shall we? All right, Prost!
Cheers! Oh, wow. Oh, my God. Has that got a flavor profile? Holy shit. Oh, my God. I love a beer that makes me laugh. That's pretty funny. Oh, my God.
Ah!
Every taste bud and a few extra that are in my mouth have just like given up and gone home.
Oh, Jesus! Ah! Oh! I can't stop laughing about it. All right, so we have had beers on the show before. I think one, if not two, beers where supposedly there was some habanero taste in it. I can't remember what the beer was, but I know we've done it. But Jesus. All right, so folks, when this bottle says habanero, they're not kidding. If the grapefruit hops didn't smack you in the face, the habanero taste
it
smacks your face off.
It's amazing how quickly those grapefruit hops get the hell out of the way, isn't it?
Oh my God. The pepper is right up front and does not quit and does not let up and does not surrender. This is potent stuff. Oh.
What I find interesting is how smoky this flavor is.
Did you read the very bottom of the bottle?
No, what's it say?
It says heat may vary.
Yeah, well, they varied.
Oh, sorry, what you were saying?
I was just noting it tastes like a roasted habanero. Like they roasted it, blackened it a little bit because it tastes a little smoky, but they definitely threw the whole thing in complete with the seeds because holy shit is that peppery. All that grapefruit nose just bails out. You get it very, very front and you go, oh, grapefruity, and then the pepper takes over and just kicks its ass and it's over. And that's really all you taste from then on out. It's actually not bad, but the interesting effect is it's such a flavor combination that goes from the bitter grapefruit to the really hot, spicy, smoky pepper that it hits every part of your tongue at the same time. And for me, in my case, even the roof of my mouth, and it actually like almost tickled. It's crazy what this beer does to your mouth. Jeremy, what do you think?
Oh.
I think it's really interesting. So I love hot stuff. I go through a bottle of hot sauce a week at work, just putting it on all the food I eat. And this is really interesting. I think it's the first pepper beer I've had that has more going on than just pepper. It has, you can tell it's an IPA. It's got really strong grapefruit nose. There are some hops back there, although they are pretty much covered up by the habanero. But the spice is actually balanced in this, and I think I'm going to make. I have 2 bottles of this. I think one of them is going to turn into a michelada. I've got to try that.
This I'm going back for some second and third pulls on this. This would be fantastic with a Mexican meal.
Mm-hmm.
If there's any beer that I would try a michelada with, just to get it out of the way, it might be this one. I have that mix still in my.
Yeah, I've been saving it. We got to do it on the show.
Yeah, for when we have nothing else.
I'm tempted to just pour this in there.
This is. Yeah, I like this stuff. I like it a lot.
This is growing on me. That first pull was so shocking and so different. I didn't really know what to do with it. But as I'm going back for more, it's settling into a nice, warm Mexican meal, maybe with some roasted green chilies on it. Maybe some huevos rancheros.
I'm imagining if you have a bunch of jalapenos and habanero stuff on a Mexican food, you might not even phase you this beer.
Right, that's what I'm thinking. It is kind of a nice pairing with that, or have it with I don't know, a nice.
Holy crap! Okay.
Yeah. What are you looking at?
The Beer Advocate scores.
Are they all over the map?
Don't look at it. Do not look it up.
All right, I'm not looking.
I want you to guess what you think the Beer Advocate scores when we are all done.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and rate it.
Yeah,
go ahead and rate it. Yeah.
I'm rating this as a fruit beer, spice beer, and as that style, it's good. It gets high marks from me. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. Definitely not for everybody, but if you like spicy stuff, if you like IPAs, I think this is a great combination.
I was going to go with a 7, but I'm going to give it a bonus points because it actually tickled the roof of my mouth when I first had it. And that is an effect I don't often get from a beer. So bonus points for affecting me physically. And I'm just hoping that this isn't going to have the effect on me that most Mexican food that tastes like this does. I'll report back next week.
Okay.
But I agree, an 8.
So you just to keep the parental rating on this show down a little bit, you've heard of a mind F before.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
This is a tongue F.
Yeah. I would agree with that. Definitely.
But I am on the opposite end of Keith and Jeremy. This sucks. It's really bad. It's like, hey, let's squirt some habanero juice into a beer, into an IPA, and call it something weird. It just assaults you. There's just nothing. There's nothing redeeming about it at all. I mean, IPA, it has 2 strikes against it to start with because it's an IPA. But then you do a habanero, which I love a good habanero, but you try to put that into an IPA, it doesn't work, it doesn't fit, it doesn't taste good. This is absolutely a 1. This is broaching on Pliny territory. It's just bad.
Which is the best beer in America.
Are we calling somebody?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, come down here. You have to try this beer.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
No, you don't.
Oh, no, you're listening? Oh, she's on the stream. Damn it.
Cindy, that's my gal.
This beer made me laugh. You have to come down and have it tickle the roof of your mouth like
it's not going to.
Well,
hey, we've got a caller. We've got a caller into the show. Hi, Cindy.
Come on down.
Bonus.
We haven't had Cindy on the show for a while.
No.
So I'm going to give this a 1. So while she's coming down, guys, what do you think the boys at Beer Advocate gave this beer?
I would bet it is all over the place.
I bet they like it.
This has got to be.
I bet they give it
at
least a 70.
It's out of 100. So you say 70. What do you say, Jeremy?
I'd say it's probably a 60.
Okay. Both the user ratings and the bros ratings were very close. The user ratings out of 11,000 ratings. Wait, Cindy's gonna try it first.
Yeah, Cindy's gonna try it first.
Hi, Cindy. Go ahead and try that beer.
No.
Rob says hi. Come on.
No.
Come on.
It's all sorts of nasty.
No, don't look at it.
Thank you.
Don't read the bottle. No, that's a bad idea.
Where's my water?
It's upstairs.
Oh, God. Oh, no, it keeps going.
Oh,
That's right.
Isn't that awesome?
That's
Oh,
right.
See, it tickles. It tickles.
It's not tickle. It's nasty. It's hotty, and then it's spicy, and then it's stuck in my throat.
Exactly. Exactly.
Score of 1 to 10.
-2.
Yeah! Yeah! Yeah,
Thank you, hon.
Cindy. Yeah.
She's
All right, so
running for water now.
So 11,000 ratings, user ratings. They rated it a 98.
Wow.
And the bros gave it a full 100.
See, it's good for the style. On Untapped, out of
No,
79,000.
you know what it means? It's any kind of crazy, weird, idiotic mixing beer.
No.
Because they're all about rating things to be hip.
No, because you said at the beginning of the show about the other spicy beers, and the other spicy beers are not getting this higher rating. Come on now.
Ugh.
And on Untapped, it gets 4.1 out, or a 4 average out of 5 with 79,000 ratings.
Just gross.
Untapped needs to let me take a picture of a label and just enter it. Why do I have to type?
Especially after drinking beer.
Yeah. Come on now.
Man, this is good stuff.
Mm.
I do like that, and I need like a cheese sauce to go on it because it's Mexican now. I mean, I want to like
On the
pour
beer.
a cup of cheese in the bottom of my
Now,
glass and have.
What if you made a
Here's-
cheese sauce
wait.
with this beer?
I
hell
got it.
yeah.
Here's
This would
what
make
I
the
would say.
best beer cheese ever.
Here's what I would say. Take this beer and use it with a good skirt steak as a marinade, and now you're talking. Now I might be on board. Because the beer would tenderize the meat, open it up, and the habanero suck that right in. Yep, that would work. But to drink it, nah. See, I got you at marinade, didn't I?
Yeah, I can see it as a marinade. I actually think it might be a waste of this beer. I think you'd be better off having this alongside the plain skirt steak. Maybe dipping it in.
Oh, God, that would improve it. That would improve it for sure. All right, so my one, Keith's, what'd you say, 8?
Yeah.
And my 8.
And
We
8.
get a
And
5.7.
hold on, don't forget Cindy's -2.
The proxy, it's -2.
We get a 5.7.
5.7? Okay. So, you know what that means, folks. Stay away from it. Don't even try.
I think if you like spice, you got to give this a try. I think you're crazy if you don't.
It's worth a try.
I mean, it did.
has to be.
It
Not
did
for
make.
everyone.
It did make me laugh. So, I mean, that's not nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it didn't make you cry. It didn't make you sick. It made you laugh.
Oh my goodness, that was just so
I think that
offensive.
is the best, result of an odd beer is it just takes over your bodily responses and it can't figure out what to do, so it laughs.
Yeah.
And both of your faces, your first drink of this beer, if you're listening to this on the audio podcast, everyone, you need to go to YouTube and watch, I don't know, probably 10 minutes in, and you've got to see just Keith and Rob's reaction to the first drink of this beer. It's worth a try. It was
It's a
amazing.
sucker punch.
It is. It really is.
You open the beer up and you don't think it's going to be what it is. You smell the
Rob's
hops.
definition of a tongue F is probably the most accurate because even whether you like it or not, in the end, your first impression of it, you cannot prep for it. We're not going to hype this enough that you're going to go, oh yeah, we know what's going into it. No, you're not ready. I can tell you all about this beer, and I can tell you this: your first pull of it, you're not ready.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I don't think anybody's ever going to be ready. But we
The
drank the
second
beer.
drink is really good, but the first one is like, oh, what the hell is this?
No. All right, so with that, we leave behind our beer. It's time to take a pint. It's our pint taking segment. What are we going to talk about this week? But first, some music.
I've been really trying, baby, trying to hold back these
Let's get it on. Thank you, Reverend. Thank you, Reverend. All right.
I was expecting a little different bumper music to go into this theme, but what do I know?
That's perfect. That's perfect. All right, so we have talked on this show before about reboots. We've talked about Battlestar Galactica. We've talked about reboots of Spider-Man and reboots of Batman and Superman and basically everything under the sun. Well, there's another. I guess I wouldn't call it a reboot. It's much as it is a reintroduction. One of the cult classic favorite shows from the 90s and early 2000s is coming back. That's right. This is one of Keith's favorite shows from back in the day. Actually. The X-Files is coming back in 2016 for a 6-episode short run.
Okay, I actually thought you were going to lead in with the Muppet Show.
No. Although that certainly is part of the topic. But if you actually look at the show document, it says X-Files.
What's a doc?
Yeah, that's where you put your pick. Or that's where you don't put your pick.
Right.
Right.
So, yeah, X-Files. Well, also I believe one of Keith's favorite episodes or shows from the 90s. Debuting.
I sure hope this happens.
It's going to. It's debuting Sunday, January 24th, 2016, right after the NFC Championship game. It's a thrilling 6-episode event series helmed by original creator, executive producer Chris Carter, David Duchovny, Gillian Anderson, Mulder and Scully are back. I got into the X-Files game late and kind of didn't really watch much of the first few seasons, but I think I came on season 4 and 5. Once the conspiracy started to take hold, and I was hooked. So I'm interested to see what they've done. I did see both of the movies that really just blew dead bare. But I'm interested to see what they've got coming. Keith, are you at all interested in the new X-Files?
I am. We went back and tried to rewatch X-Files. Actually, I didn't watch a whole lot of it when it was out originally. But I did go back, when we first got Netflix and we're looking for things to really jump back into. We went back in and all of the X-Files were on Netflix. Boy, those first few seasons do not hold.
No, it's very dated.
They are very dated, from the styles of Mulder and Scully, hairstyles and other things. They just do not hold up. The stories might be good, but it's hard to get over some of the other things. As it rolls along, though, it does get better and a little more entertaining. But boy, if you go back and rewatch them, those first 2 seasons are a little rough.
I mean, X-Files kind of came out of the aftermath of Twin Peaks, where you had kind of a genre show with a continuing storyline, and that hadn't really been done before. Most sci-fi shows or even kind of thriller shows of that genre were very episodic.
Right.
Every week was a different story, and then they moved on to the next week.
And X-Files was kind of towed the line between the two.
Yeah.
They were episodic with a background.
There was an arc. There was
a story arc that followed through from case to case to case that you were piecing together.
I mean, they might take an episode off every now and then from the main story arc, but they would always come back to it.
It would always touch on it somewhere in the existing case, whatever they were working on. Somehow it would touch back to the arc, and you may not even realize it when it was in there. But
now, modern example of X-Files, of course, is Fringe, which was a great show.
Yeah, I love Fringe.
But X-Files did it first. You know what's really interesting in watching the X-Files is it was one of the first shows on television where the internet was kind of a main feature of the show. It was still kind of in its infancy in the early 90s or mid-90s when it wasn't as widely used as it was now. And it was used as a tool by Mulder and Scully a lot. And even then, seeing it in those first few years, how far the internet's come from then.
Yeah, there was
crazy.
There was a lot of those early GeoCities websites that they were
Yeah,
looking at
exactly. GeoCities. Yeah.
with blink tags and
And
Angel Fire.
those are the
Angel
ideal
Fire.
sites for that kind of
Yeah.
conspiracy.
So,
So interestingly, David Duchovny appeared in Twin Peaks, which I didn't realize until I was researching this,
he
doing
did.
a little digging for this show, and I pasted a link there to his character.
He did.
I do not remember that. I need
David
to watch
Duchovny
Twin Peaks again.
David Duchovny is an interesting dude, man. He's about to star in a TV series for NBC called Aquarius, where he plays a police officer in the late '60s, investigating some of the early activities of the Manson cult.
Yep.
And it's going to be NBC's first binge-watching series. They're going to release all episodes online at once.
Yeah, it's going to be a short run, I think, of 6 or 12 episodes only.
Yeah.
But they're gonna after the premiere, they're gonna pop them all on the website so you can watch them all at once.
So it's designed to be a single standalone, start to finish thing.
Kinda.
Yeah.
I mean, they're gonna show them weekly too over the summer, but
Yeah.
All right, but it's not designed to be 20 seasons of this show. It's
no, I don't think
Well,
so.
I mean, who knows?
I think that's a definite ending.
I mean, who knows how long? I mean, if it has a following, they may bring it back. I don't know, but at least he seems to be prepared for what's next because he's going to do X-Files, 6 episodes of X-Files, which I'm sure will probably be a big hit. And if it's done well, who knows? It might come back. I mean, certainly there's a want out there for kind of conspiracy theory, sci-fi shows. Fox Fringe has been off the air for 2 years now, and that did really well on Fox. So I'm sure it'll be a great idea. But the question that I have for you guys, and Keith has historically kind of been down on reboots and returns, and kind of loves to have, especially when it comes to like superhero stuff and those kind of things. But even if you're burnt out on reboots and returns of shows, are there any IPs, intellectual properties, that you would like to see come back?
Yeah, Twin Peaks.
Well, that's coming back, so there you go. We got that.
Nope, it's not.
I think
Oh,
it's
they
been
shut it
canceled.
down?
Yeah, I think it's been canceled for like the 3rd time.
Yeah, he pulled. What's his face? Lynch pulled out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And they were going to try to do it without him, but I don't think.
Nah, they can't.
I don't think it's going to get any fan support without David Lynch.
Okay, so
No,
Twin
it's
Peaks
gotta
is
be
one.
there.
Is there any others?
Arrested Development. Be cool to see something
Yeah,
new from
I mean,
that.
I don't know if you've seen the recent series that was on Netflix. It was good, but it just didn't seem to have that same magic that the first 3 seasons had.
Is it too soon to say Letterman?
Oh, you know what? Next week we will have to talk about Letterman. Oh, shoot, next week I go on a trip, so I may have to have either you guys can talk about him without me. I'd love to talk about Letterman. We can talk about him the week I get back.
Yeah.
All right, so what else? I know Firefly. A lot of people would answer Firefly.
Yeah.
I'd almost be scared to bring Firefly back.
I'm thinking all that stuff is too new though. I'm going back to
Okay, go back.
our childhood. What are the properties like X-Files and older that would be good to bring back? Or ripe for a reimagining. I mean, a lot of them have been
I
done
would
essentially.
like- Some of the shows that I really enjoyed from like old classic TV have gotten that treatment. I'd like to see some more Alfred Hitchcock Presents style stuff or Twilight.
Like an anthology, yeah.
Black Mirror kind of tried to modern that up and
Well,
Yeah,
you got
that was
American
a good
Horror
attempt.
Story, which is kind of the horror anthology.
which I think they're trying to bring Black Mirror to America now and continue on with it on U.S. TV, but I don't know where that's going to go or where it's going to end up.
All right, I'll be the one to say it. It is about time, and this has been out there on the internet as rumors for a while now, but it is about time that Star Trek comes back to a television show.
Yeah, I think Star Trek needs a new TV show, but I don't think CBS is going to do it. So someone
There are
has to
rumors
convince.
out there that Netflix is trying to negotiate with CBS.
Yeah, I think there's been rumors that and CBS won't do it. Somebody's got to buy the rights away.
They're crazy. I mean, they'd make a ton of money.
I
So do you
agree.
think they should take off from where the movies have
No.
led?
It should
No,
be that. It should
New
be set in the
storyline.
future. It should set in the
Whole
future.
new universe.
Well, not a new universe. You still have to have dealing with the Federation and Starfleet and stuff like that.
I think it should be like a new next generation, the third generation, or
The next
whatever.
generation.
The next
I
generation.
would love, honestly, would
Or
love
just
to
a new
see.
storyline.
I would
Wars
love to see them
Generation
bring. I would love to see them bring Riker back and have, kind of post Next Generation. I mean,
Rumor is he pitched a show and was shut down cold.
and so did Worf. The
Yeah.
guy who plays Worf pitched a show and was shot down.
And I think they pitched one or both of them together too, as co-stars too, where they would go on together.
Yeah, there's no. I mean,
After
there's a
Picard
lot
had
of
them.
money to be
But
made.
you could take a completely separate cast from all of that and
Yeah.
pick a new storyline, like
Sure.
like they did with DS9, like they
Yeah,
did with
absolutely.
Voyager, like they did with Enterprise, although they shot themselves in the foot with Enterprise a little bit.
I finally, by the way, Keith, have gotten all the way through Enterprise. I've now seen every Star Trek series, and I will say that Enterprise did get better.
Yeah, it
towards
does.
the end, right when
It
they.
does.
I mean, it's by no means the best Star Trek series, but I've seen worse series out there.
That show would have been about 3 times better if they had just given up on the rock and roll theme song.
They tried like seasons 3 and 4, where it was just kind of a medley of that. But
they needed to give it up totally and go back to the orchestral stuff.
Yeah.
And then it would have been a Star Trek show. Nobody could really acknowledge it as a Star Trek show with the guitar in it.
So let's see what else. I mean, any other shows out there that they could bring back? That would be really good.
You know what I kind of want them to do, and I don't know if it's something that Netflix could do, or if you almost need the big national TV channels to do it. But Saturday morning cartoons need to return somehow.
Mm.
Good basic slapstick cartoon stuff is ripe for a return.
Boy, so much
and
of
it
that
could be-
stuff just could not be done now.
I know it can't, but it needs to be. It needs to come back in some form, and
But
maybe
even
it's
something like Tiny
maybe-
Toons or Pinky
maybe
and
it's
the
something
Brain.
that like Netflix puts together as a medley of shows in a 2-hour block or something that you can just play on Saturday mornings or something like that.
Mhm.
I don't know, but there's something that needs to be packaged together to do that. I mean, you say that they can't do that, but you look at some of the stuff they're doing on Adult Swim and Cartoon Network, and you totally can do it.
Not
If
on a
it's
Saturday
awesome.
morning.
You
But
can
yeah,
do it on
maybe on
Saturday.
Netflix.
But maybe, but that's what I'm saying. Maybe it needs to go to Netflix to work. And maybe it's something where they kind of revamp some of the older stuff and reboot that. Reboot Bugs Bunny show. Reboot, the Looney Tunes. With the original feeling, and style and stuff, and just make it a variety couple of hours of cartoons and music and stuff for kids that you, like I said, that you can just pop on whenever. But for me, I want to pop on at 8 o'clock on Saturday mornings and sit down with my kids, a couple bowls of cereal, and watch.
I would love to see them, another genre show that I really loved in the 90s. I'd love to see them bring back Quantum Leap. That was a great show.
That show had its moments. It could be rebooted and done well, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
The concept was pretty good. I tried to watch that on Netflix a while
Yeah, it
back.
does not hold up.
No, it was.
It doesn't
was
hold
tough.
up. Yeah,
It
it's
wasn't
too.
terrible, but it didn't. It was tough.
All right.
Boy.
Have you tried to watch that recently, Rob?
What? The
Quantum
Quantum Leap?
The original Quantum Leap.
I watched a few episodes on Netflix a while back.
Do you think
I thought it was-
held up pretty good, or was it kind of? Well, you
no,
didn't
it had
keep
a-
watching it,
I
right?
see. No, but I wasn't going in there saying, "Hey, I'm going to watch all the Quantum Leaps again." I'm like, "Oh, there's Quantum Leap. Let me watch a couple."
Yeah.
And it may have a little bit of a dated edge to it, but I really thought that the show had a great heart. It had I really like Scott Bakula a lot, and I thought it was just a well done show, and it had a lot of variety in it because he was jumping into different people.
Bakula is ripe for a reboot.
Well, he tried CSI New Orleans, which was just
No.
abysmal.
I mean him. Himself. Somebody else needs to come in and play Scott Bakula.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Somebody needs to reboot him. Because he's great in theory, but I don't think he holds up either.
Oh, I think he's a great actor. I think it's a great actor.
I know he watches
Okay.
the show, so I had to get a dig in.
Scott Bakula?
Yeah, he's one of our fans.
Hey, Scotty! I love Captain Archer.
Scotty B. That's what I
SB.
call him.
Scatback. I call him Scottback. All right, so
You Scott back?
more to come with
Baby
the
Scott
with baby Scott Bakula. More to come with the X-Files stuff as we become aware of it. But my second topic for this evening, and this just came out today, news today. Harry Shearer. Now, if you don't know that name, then you probably haven't watched The Simpsons much. Harry Shearer is one of the original cast members of The Simpsons. He voices such characters as Mr. Burns.
Hello?
Hey, Rob? Did you mute yourself? Did you sit on your wire?
So, Harry Shearer apparently played a lot of characters on The
Yeah,
Simpsons.
he was really good, and he was so good that he made Rob be very quiet after he said the word Mr. Burns.
There we go. Mr. Burns. Mr. Burns canceled me out there.
I know, Mr. Burns.
Mr. Burns, there's Ned Flanders, and of course a bunch of other characters. He is going to be departing The Simpsons after 26 seasons. First of all, just digest the fact that The Simpsons has been on TV for 26 years.
I know. It's The Simpsons will soon be older than me.
Yeah, that's actually never going to happen, Keith.
No, well, they're gaining on me, I swear.
They're not at all. They'll still always be the same distance apart.
I don't think that's how this is working out.
I think
One
that's how
of you is going to stop before the other.
math
Yeah,
is fundamental.
It may be me, let me tell you.
If you go and Simpsons keeps on, then yes, it will pass.
Aha!
But apparently, Harry wanted freedom to do other projects at the same time as doing The Simpsons, and Fox and the studio behind The Simpsons would not allow him to do that. So he basically said, I'm gone. And they're famously had a contract holdout a couple years ago, led by Harry Shearer with the other cast members, Dan Castellaneta, Yardley Smith, all those, Nancy Cartwright, those folks, Julie Kavner, that's the other one I'm thinking of. And they lost that. I think they make something like $400,000 an episode.
Yeah,
That's all?
it's pretty crazy.
For voicing, for cartoon voicing, which is just amazing. But he wanted to go do his other stuff. And listen, Harry Shearer. Oh, they also wanted a bigger share of the merchandising, which of course they will never ever get. But he's made a nice, pretty penny off of The Simpsons. It's hard to imagine The Simpsons without Burns and Smithers and all the other characters that he voiced.
Don't you think they'll try to find somebody that's really close?
They may. I kind of hope they don't. Actually, what I kind of hope for is that
characters.
No, you're right. What I kind of hope for is that Harry comes to his senses and says this is about the easiest gig in the world anybody could ever have, and comes
don't
back.
You think that after 26 years of making $400,000 an episode, he's probably has enough money and would like to do something creative at this point. He doesn't really need to come to his senses.
I mean, like I said, I guess he can do what he wants. I'm just saying that I hope he comes to his senses.
Yeah. I mean, at some point, there is enough money. I don't know where that is. I certainly haven't found it yet.
True.
But at some point,
What?
at some point, there is enough, and you can just say, you know what, screw it. I don't want to do this thing I hate, that I've grown to hate.
Well,
And
I mean,
God bless him. If he wants to do some independent stuff that completely sucks and fails out, great. But at least he tried it. At least he got away and did it.
Right. I mean, at the end of the day, we have to realize that we're closer to the end of The Simpsons than we are to the beginning. Which is just a quarter of a century.
That's a long time to do a TV show.
Unbelievable. And I would be lying if I said I've seen every episode of The Simpsons, but I've seen a fair share. And even I've seen old shows and new shows, and it does not seem to have lost any of its charm. which I guess is the great thing about the animation is you can always make the characters look the same and still update it with new stuff. I mean, Family Guy and South Park have also been around for a long, long time, though it's a drop in the bucket compared to The Simpsons. But wish him well. Good luck to you. I hope they figure it out on the show how to do without him.
I hope they put in like someone who's close enough to his voice that you know what they're trying to do, but not close enough to his voice so that a lot of people just laugh at it. Kind of like when they switched Darren's on Bewitched.
I'm sure. Well, the great thing about animation is you don't have to look at the voice; you just have to listen to it.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that do Montgomery Burns impressions and probably do really good ones.
Yeah.
So, well, Simpsons, that's a great show. Wow. 26 years. I can't even imagine.
Wait till Netflix gets a hold of that and everybody tries to binge watch it.
Oh, right. Well, they just did.
What
was it? They just did on FX. They did a 500-hour marathon of every Simpsons episode ever.
Yeah, it was FXX, I think, had it.
Yeah. It's just crazy. All right, so with that, we circle back and end our show with some bumper music and our half pint segment.
Oh, that's me.
Boy, it would be great if they could bring Looney Tunes back, but I think Jeremy's right. You could not do that today.
You can't.
I'm telling you, you can do it with all the alternative stuff. You definitely can do it.
But not as a kid.
Packager.
Not as a kids show.
You absolutely can.
I think, you know what?
I would show it to my kids without thinking twice.
I'm gonna contradict myself, and I'm gonna say that the show that probably comes the closest to that sense of a great kids cartoon with adult humor in it would probably be SpongeBob. It's a very similar kind of show that, I mean, I was far and away grown up by the time I started watching SpongeBob, and I loved that show.
Yeah, there's actually that's a whole other topic, but there's quite a few cartoons out there now that are kind of designed for kids, but have adult humor in them too. I mean, the Pixar stuff does that.
Oh, obviously, we were just talking about this last week. I just forgot about a show that we want brought back. We want The Tick brought back.
The Tick! Oh, yeah. That's right.
If you're doing that, let's get Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah. Ren and Stimpy.
Never dug Ren and Stimpy.
Oh, Ren and Stimpy is the freaking best.
Never liked Ren and Stimpy. Never liked Beavis and Butthead. Ever.
Always on the electric fence.
All right, folks, so we're now in our half pint segments where we pick something for you to go check out this week, whether that be an app, a movie, a TV show, a website, anything that catches our little fancy and our pea-sized brain. So Jeremy has an app he wants to talk about, and it's all about circles.
So this iOS game is called Into the Circle, and it's a very simple mechanic similar to maybe a golf game when you're putting. There's an indicator that moves back and forth to indicate direction, and when you tap on the screen, that stops moving, and the time you hold down on the screen
is the
distance that your object will travel. And there's circles placed one after the other, and the object is to push this thing from circle to circle to circle. It's really fun, super simple. One hand, one tap, easy to play. You can pick it up for a few minutes or as long as you want. It's free to play. You can get rid of ads for, I think it's $4, but it's totally playable as the free version too. Check it out, Into the Circle.
This sounds exactly like the kind of game I love.
Yeah, it's really. It's quick. Pick it up, play it, put it down.
Circle.
Try Two Dots as well.
I've been playing Two Dots forever.
Very
Two Dots
similar.
is really fun, except for the constant extortion attempts.
Yep. That's kind of what drove me away from it too.
What you mean, as opposed to Into the Circle, where I use up all my stars and I have to watch a free commercial in order to get 5 stars?
But you don't need the stars to play the game.
Yes, you do. They won't let me play without stars.
you can't continue where you left off when you die, but you can play as much as you want.
Yeah.
The stars are to continue on, but there's no timeout. Two Dots has a timeout. You can't, after you play for a little while, you're forced to put it down for an hour, or you have to pay.
That's if you're not good.
I think
If you're like me, you keep going.
I think though you can buy that out, Jeremy.
Yeah, you can. Yeah,
you used to be able to buy that out for a couple bucks.
I didn't see a buyout. I saw one-offs.
I mean, it's the whole in-app purchases thing, which
Yeah.
In
But at one time, I think there was like a $2, get rid of ads thing, and I think I jumped on it.
Yeah.
Mine doesn't have ads in it at all anymore.
Keith, what is your pick for this week?
I have a couple picks. That's actually one pick that's a little more confusing because it's a plug too. So. I have a long time been a fan of Hearthstone. No, I'm not talking about Hearthstone. I have a long time been a fan of Flipboard on my iPads as a reading magazine device, but also viewing social media. It's just kind of a wonderful little casual way to look through news and events and info from your friends and all kinds of stuff. And they have slowly been about a year or two ago even, they kind of put this build your own magazine feature. And slowly they have been, it was kind of a way for you to bookmark your own stuff originally. And then you could share it with other people and you could let other people contribute to it so that you can kind of build up this thing. But still, for a long time there, it was only really for you to use or some other occasional people who were on Flipboard who knew you. It wasn't going anywhere as far as mass publishing. Well, it's evolved, and the last step I saw now is included with Flipboard is now on the web. So any magazines you have are also now on the web, which is nice because as you curate your magazine, you can actually link to the magazine itself on a computer, or a mobile device, as Flipboard is known for, but on a computer, so anybody can read the articles that you're putting in there. Anyone can link to them or link from there into the original articles and stuff. So I kind of was playing around with this about a month ago, and I said, hey, what if I create a new magazine? And I came up with a kind of too hip name for it called Muozon, Muozon, and I kind of liked where I was going with it. It was a little bit of tech, a little bit of gaming, a little bit of pop culture, but not too deep into any one of those subjects. And it was just me curating stuff. And I said, well, what if I grab a name for it and link that to it? And lo and behold, Muozon.com was born, which if you go there now on your web browser, will open up my Flipboard magazine on your web browser. If you go to it on your phone or on your iPad and you have Flipboard installed, it'll just open it in Flipboard, which works well too. But you can now link to it on the web. And it's basically all the stuff I'm kind of interested in that you can see. And it works directly as a website. And I said, hey, what if I did this with our old website that Rob and I had for our old podcast, which was Happy Time Magic Hour. Happy Time Magic Hour had been parked because we weren't using it, but it wasn't getting sold or anything either, so it wasn't doing anything except costing me money, $20 a year or something to keep active. So I pointed that at my Flipboard magazine for Happy Time Magic Hour. And I will tell you that I have gotten more hits, more activity, more favorites, reflips, views from that magazine, Happy Time Magic Hour, than we ever did having it as a blog. It is way more active. So now if you go to happytimemagichour.com, you will see a beer-centric news site that's curated by me. And in theory, it's curated by Jeremy, too, but I don't know if he knows he can still do that.
I did not know that.
Because once upon a time ago, I offered it to everybody that was a part of the show to be an editor, and you were the only one who took me up on that. So it says it's curated by me and you. So You can flip stuff into it too if you want, Jeremy.
Oh, well, I'll do that. Cool.
Yeah. So anyway, there's a whole bunch of articles out there on both of these that are really interesting. They're not. There's no way to monetize it yet, not for me anyway, or us. But it's just kind of interesting. It's me as a curator telling you the best stuff on the web that I think is the best stuff on the web within a general topic. And for HappyTimeMagicHour.com, it is beer-related news and articles. And for Muazon.com, which is hard to say, it's just kind of my general purpose one. Coming soon, I think I'm going to move my Technology Viewer website over to that too. I already have a Technology Viewer magazine on Flipboard that does very well, so I think I'm just going to point the domain at the Flipboard magazine as well. So it's the new blogging, I think, is the Flipboard magazine.
Well, that's a cool idea. I'm going to dig into that a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. If they would allow... Well, they do allow commenting. When you flip something into your magazine, you can write a little comment about it. Mm-hmm. But that comment doesn't seem to show up on the website. If they would let my commentary show up too, it would be perfect, because then I could put my witty repartee around each article as to why I think and then it would be
absolutely.
But as it is now, it's still it's kind of a neat way to get your news. And if you're interested in beer culture, HappyTimeMagicHour.com. If you're interested just in the stuff I'm interested in, which includes beer, includes tech, includes some current events news, includes pop culture, movies and TV, then that's Muazon.
Cool.
So those are my picks.
Very good. All right, so my half pint pick for the week is something that I have not even seen yet, but I cannot wait for. And that is going to be, we talked about on the show a couple times, Mad Max Fury Road. Early reviews are in, and they have been nothing but stellar. I believe it's hovering right now currently at 99% on Rotten Tomatoes. And I read a bunch of reviews on it, and as great a movie as they say it is in terms of stunts and cinematography and all that, and as awesome as they say Tom Hardy is as Mad Max, apparently the real star of the movie is Charlize Theron. That she's just incredible, and some people are saying it's her best movie ever, and it just looks like a movie that just goes bug nuts crazy. I mean, if you are a fan...
Is that an actual phrase?
Yeah, bug nuts crazy, sure.
Okay, just checking.
If you are... Yeah,
you haven't made it to the Northeast yet.
You need to get into the know, Keith.
Hey, I'm running with that one. I love it.
If you watch the first two movies, and even the third movie, you know that, first of all, the theme material is just out there. So apparently George Miller, the creator, just takes this to like a whole another level. And this movie is supposedly be incredible, and I cannot wait for Mad Max Fury Road. Go see it.
It looks surprisingly good.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be the sleeper hit. Everybody really expects Avengers to do well. Avengers is doing well. Is doing Avengers.
Doing well.
But it's not getting the reviews that Avengers 1 got. And I think as Mad Max comes out, I think it's going to steal the thunder and sink what's left of Avengers. I think it is a rated R.
It is a rated R action film, so I mean,
that's wonderful.
It will eat into the Avengers a little bit. It won't steal a lot because you still got a lot of the kids and teens and stuff going. But yeah, it definitely will steal some of that thunder, and has the potential to stick around for a while.
I think it's going to be the runaway hit of the summer.
I cannot wait. Whew. All right. So, in closing, gentlemen, any closing thoughts?
Keep it spicy.
No.
Pepper beer is freaking good.
No, it's really not. But that's all right. Different strokes for different folks. Different beers for different
peers.
Peers. There you go. That's the word. I was.
That's what you were thinking.
I'm trying to figure out a word that rhymes with beers that would not get me shunned on all parts of the internet.
And you think they can make Looney Tunes again?
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
No, I do. I think they can. Rob agrees with you.
I don't think they can. I just don't think it has that same.
They
I mean,
can't make it.
first of all,
They can't make it
for
like
a
it
kids
was.
show, you'd have to tone the violence way down.
You'd have to tone everything in that down.
Yeah, it just
I don't think you would.
Okay.
seriously.
Do it.
Yeah, people getting hit in the heads with axes and losing body parts and stuff like that. You could do that for a kids' TV show.
Yeah, I mean, well, look at South Park. Look at The Simpsons.
South Park is not a kids' show.
Who cares? More kids watch it than adults.
Okay. Well, let us know your thoughts. Could Looney Tunes survive in 2015? We want to hear from you.
Scratchy is a sub-show within The Simpsons. Come on.
It's called a parody, Keith, but that's all right.
I know. It's a parody of Tom and Jerry. But
As
they're
I
more
said-
violent. They're more violent. They could do it.
As I said at the beginning, take a note, take a break, break a leg. No, I won't do it all again. Thanks, guys, for listening, tuning in. Come find us, PNR Show at gmail.com, Point of No Return Show, PNRShow.com. We're all over. Thanks, folks at Alpha Geek, for listening in. Tell your friends, tell your loved ones, tell your coworkers, tell even your deepest, darkest enemy.
I'd rather have luggage than lie. I'll take a strong stout of
Because the truth